Hey guys, welcome back to Baking a Scandal podcast.
The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only.
Sorry we've been gone for a while. We'll explain everything in our podcast that will drop July 13th. Thank you. Enjoy.
Hey guys, it's Scandal for OLED.
And OLED Show.
So for today's episode, we're going to be doing a Q&A on our favorite episode and season from Scandal. So today, I'm going to be doing Season 1, Episode 1, Sweet Baby, and OLED Show will be asking me the questions. So without further ado, let's get started.
Guys, I just want to start off by saying, if y'all hear me say twin, I'm referring to Scandal for OLED, okay? Okay, first question. Explain why this episode is your favorite.
Okay, so the reason why this episode is my favorite is because this is when the show first started. This is the pilot season, so we get to learn about all the characters. We start to learn everybody, and we start to get introduced to Olivia, Stefan, Quinn, Abby, everybody. So we get to learn about all of them.
Okay, period. Briefly summarize the overall storyline of that episode.
So basically, Season 1 simply is us getting to know all the characters. We get to learn about Olivia. We start to learn about Quinn and how she got introduced into OPA, a.k.a. Olivia Pope and Associates. And we also start to see a little bit of Olivia and Fitz's relationship.
Summarize that very well. Highlight the main characters and their roles in the season plot.
Okay, so our main character here is obviously Olivia Pope, who is in charge of Olivia Pope and Associates. We have Stefan, who we see to be as her right-hand man. It seems like she immediately goes for him, and he's like a body shield for her. He automatically puts himself first. They definitely have each other's back for sure. And then we see Quinn. She's very new, obviously. She's getting introduced to the team. She's getting hired to the job. And then we have Abby. We don't know too much about her this season, but we kind of see that she has some type of crush on Stefan. If you look throughout the season, she has this look in her eye about Stefan. We see Fitzgerald Grant, aka Tony Goldwyn, who plays the president of the United States in the show. We get to learn about him and Olivia's relationship. So that plot right there is the introduction to Quinn. Another plot for that season is the first ever crisis we see is with when the Russians kidnap a baby, and when a war veteran hero, we found out he has a big secret. And Olivia has to help him. And that's about it.
Discuss the central theme explored throughout the season. Power, betrayal, redemption, all that stuff. Break down the episode.
Okay, so first, obviously, like I said, Quinn gets introduced. So Harrison uses his charm with Quinn when hiring her for the job. And then we see how Olivia uses her power. We see how she asserts her dominance in situations no matter the problem. She found a way to be $3 million short for a package and still get it. And then we learn how she gets the truth out of a man who feels like he can't tell the truth of who he is without being judged. And then we see how Olivia and Fitz's relationship goes into play a little bit, and we see how we figure out how Cyrus finds out about the relationship, and that's mostly the main key points in the episode.
State the episode title and where it falls within the season.
Okay, so Sweet Baby doesn't actually fall within the season. It goes into a later season. We found out that Sweet Baby refers to Du Bébé, which I think is French, and it's a ring Fitz gives Olivia in the later episodes. We see in a flashback, and this ring is called Sweet Baby. And it does play in this episode. And in this episode, we also find out that the president is supposedly having an affair with some White House aide. And when she was in the hospital, she told Quinn that he would come and call her Sweet Baby, which is something which it refers to the ring that he gave her, and it was called Sweet Baby.
Focus on the most important and impactful scene.
I believe the most impactful scene in the episode was when Olivia was in the cell with Sully St. James, and she starts talking to him about him living a lie and everything. I feel like she was really speaking from herself and from her truth, and she came from experience when she was talking about that.
Discuss any major surprises or unexpected turns in this episode.
The scene in that episode that really surprised me was when we found out that Sully St. James was gay, because he's a war hero, so he feels like he can't be gay because he's a war hero, and like it's not providence for him, it's not his place to be gay, he's not supposed to be gay, but he is, and he feels like he can't stand in that truth. But that really surprised me when we found out he was gay. I was ready for everything. I was ready for an affair, for anything, but him being gay was last on my list.
Explain why the episode remains memorable and its impact on the series as a whole.
The reason why this episode is so memorable for me is because it really shined light with the introduction of the characters, which is part of the reason why I got hooked. And it's starting off so strong with the scandals and the crisis managing that she was doing. Even though it was so little, they were so impactful and so big, and then learning about the affair, and it just evolved the show. That's what, obviously it was the pilot to kick it off, but the way they started off makes it so like it stays in your head. So like there's no leaving your head with that. It puts a stamp on you. So that's why it's so memorable for me, and that's why it puts a label on the show. Thank you guys so much for listening to our podcast. This is one of the shorter ones, but we appreciate you watching Scandal for Olits and
Olit Show.
Hope you guys have an amazing day. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you get a notification every time we post a brand new podcast episode. Bye.